Last week, my brother and I introduced a brand new 3-part training series on how to generate consistent clients to an audience of about 850 agents. The truth is, real estate is an incredible business with a low barrier of entry and unbelievable financial upside. But generating consistent clients is hard. And this is the part that no one teaches you. In fact, it took us years of trial and error to figure out some ways to do just that. So we're going to depart for a bit from our normal content here on the channel to share with you these 3 sessions. We'll release them today, Friday, and next week. So make sure and subscribe so you don't miss any of them. And each session stands on its own, but part 1 is about how to lay a foundation of direct response marketing with a repeatable ad that you can run for free and generate 30 plus transactions this year. Enjoy.
My name is Chris Jones. I am the founder and CEO of Guerrilla Realty, and I am joined by my brother and co-founder and head coach of Guerrilla Realty, Levi Jones.
Hey, y'all.
And this is a very special week for us. So every year around this time, we do not only an insane series of training events, and that's this week, but in addition to all the amazing training events that we do, we also put together some incredible resources that we've never given away before, and we just give it away, right? So we don't sell it; we just give it away. It's kind of like the inauguration of the holiday season, if you will, the preamble, and so we just give a bunch of stuff away. And this year is probably the year that I'm most excited about. I know I probably say that every year, but this year we've really put a lot of time and effort into putting together some really thoughtful resources and tools and apps and software. And you guys, if you stick around this week and you pay attention to our emails, you guys are going to be blown away. So again, my name is Chris Jones, founder and CEO of Guerrilla Realty, joined by Levi, head coach. And today we're going to host probably the best webinar that you have been to all year, maybe that you ever go to. I haven't been this excited about training a group of agents in a very, very long time. So if you guys are ready to get started, we're going to go ahead and dive into this. Can we do a quick audio visual test to make sure that you guys can hear our voices crystal clearly? Like, can you give us a check?
Check 1, 2.
And can you also see our faces in the upper right hand of your screen, and also see our screen, which should read how to get consistent clients with a plug and play Facebook marketplace ad download. And if you guys can give us an all good or a thumbs up or a loud and clear, something to let us know that the AV is good, then we're going to dive directly into this. Look, guys, if you've never attended our webinars before, then I want to let you know they are featured frequently on Inman, The Close, and even on CNN. And that's not even what we're most proud of. So I'm most proud of the fact that our ideas are proudly used at many of North America's best real estate companies and teams: RE/MAX, Keller Williams, Realty One, Epic, Caldwell, eXp, Compass. And by the way, if you belong to any one of those companies, feel free to raise your hand in the comments. I'd love to know who's represented. And this is not an exhaustive list. These are just some of the companies and teams that have raised their hand and said, hey, yeah, we proudly do the Guerrilla Realty style marketing and playbooks and all that stuff. So I don't say any of that to brag. I just want to establish our credibility as a team very quickly. But I am going to brag for just a moment. And I'm going to brag by telling you this is about to be the best webinar that you go to all year. And so we are known, right, all over North America for putting on the world's best webinars for realtors. And that's not just me and Levi bragging us. We have a team of, there's 9 of us that put in well over 100 man hours into making these webinars happen. This one's no exception. But then we follow 3 specific rules to make that happen, right? So rule number 1 is we're going to keep it under an hour. So we're going to keep the flow going the entire webinar. We're going to teach through an enormous amount of information relatively quickly. Levi's going to answer your questions live on the fly if you have anything to ask during the webinar. But then after it's over, we'll both answer your questions live on the air, not just in the chat. So rule number 1 is we keep it under an hour. Rule number 2 is you can go out and execute in under 2 hours. So we don't teach ideas that take days or weeks or months for you to implement. what we're about to teach you can be implemented in under 2 hours today. And so I just want to ask for a little commitment from everybody. If you'll go to the chat and type the word execute, I want you guys to commit to do this today. You really have no excuse. And when you do, rule number 3 is we guarantee results in under 24 hours. And one of the reasons why Levi and I get so friggin' excited about teaching webinars like this one is that the particular result from this webinar is a new client signing, right? So, I mean, check what time it is. By this time tomorrow, you will have a new client signing. And we've tested this out with smaller groups of, private screenings of agents. We guarantee that this will work, right? You can hold us to that. And then as a bonus, we're going to give you a ton of free downloads, all the stuff that you need in order to go out and execute today. We're going to give it to you 100% free in one convenient resource called a cheat sheet, which I'll cover in just a minute. But rule number 2 is none of this is going to happen unless you're willing to go out and execute. So everybody that's going to the chat right now and type in the word execute, when you do, you are signifying that you have made this quiet commitment in your own heart that you're going to go do this stuff today. And I'm going to hold you to that. All right. So here's a roadmap of where we're going today. It is 3 lessons I'm going to teach you today. Lesson number 1 is how to fix your marketing in 30 minutes. So you may or may not know this, but your marketing is broken. The reason why you didn't hit your goals this year, the reason why you seem to be stuck in a plateau and you can't seem to break out of it, the reason why you're not getting consistent clients in a predictable, easy way is because your marketing is broken. And so I'm going to show you how to fix it in 30 minutes flat today, right? Lesson number 2, once we've gone through that, then we're going to show you one very simple plug and play marketplace ad that everybody who's attending this webinar right now can literally cut and paste into their own marketplace account from their own personal Facebook account. They could do it today and start generating leads. I literally did this 2 nights ago. I had 5 new client leads before I went to bed that night. All right. Just within the first few hours. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And then most importantly, lesson number 3 is I'm going to show you how to create an evergreen system that brings you clients on autopilot. So the last thing that I want for anybody within the sound of our voices today is for you to go and do the plug and play marketplace ad, do it one time, find a new client, and then it's just a one-off trick. It's a one-off hack, right? That's great, right? But that's not going to change anybody's life. What I want you to do is I want you to pay attention to lesson number 3. How many of you guys have ever experienced feast and famine in real estate? I think for most of us, not only have we experienced it, but we've kind of just accepted that that's the reality of being a realtor, right? Anybody ever just like completely given up and like, hey, the rest of my life, the rest of my career as a realtor is all going to be feast and famine, right? That's a myth. And it's a myth that I want every single one of you guys to reject right now. You're not believing that anymore. You are going to create an evergreen system so that you can be busy all year round. All right. Me and my brother finally, cracked the code on that. And instead of being feast and famine, now we're consistent. January through December, we can literally get leads and clients on demand. And I want to show you guys, there's a specific formula that we use, and I'm going to teach that in lesson number 3, but it's way more important than all the stuff that comes before it. All right. So there's going to be some tools required. We do this IKEA style. So before you get started building an IKEA desk, anyone can do it, right? But you got to know, okay, you need the Allen key and you need the drill or you need the little rubber mallet or whatever, right? So here's the tools that you're going to need today in order to get started if you're going to pull this off today, right? First of all, you're going to need a brand new marketing or a brand new resource that we call the Marketing Evaluator Calculator, which you can get from Nerd Sheets. Then you're going to need something we call the Loaner Script. You can get this from our Callster app. It's a briefcase of all of our best call scripts. And you just download the Loaner Script. I'll show you how to access it later. It'll all be in the cheat sheet. And then you're going to need the plug and play marketplace ad. And I know this is what everyone showed up for. This is what everyone's waiting to get their hands on. So don't worry, we're going to give it out. And then you're also going to need the plug and play messenger hack, which you guys probably didn't know that you needed. But everything that I just mentioned, that's all going to be free. And we're going to give you the links for it. We're going to let you download it. We're going to let you access it. And it's yours to keep forever. And then finally, we're going to strongly recommend that you get Pro Tools. So Pro Tools it's me and Levi. It's our company's our flagship product. It's our baby. It's what we pour all of our time and energy into. And it's incredible. It's a complete marketing engine for realtors. We probably have some Pro Tools users on the webinar today. You guys could go to the chat and vouch for just how good it is. But It is going to make everything that you do 1,000 times easier today. But let me be really clear. You can pull this off today with or without Pro Tools. All right. So you can do it with or without, but I'd be lying to you if I told you the results are just as good either way. So the results are always going to be 1,000,000 times better. It's going to be 1,000 times easier, 1,000 times more effective, and you're going to do it faster. And we guarantee results if you have Pro Tools. For that reason, I will do the obligatory 90-second pitch at the end of the webinar. Don't worry, it's everybody's favorite part because we have a cool giveaway attached to it. But that's Pro Tools. All right. It'll cost you money, but remember, you can do this with or without. Does that sound fair to everybody? Everybody good with that? All right. I can't think of anything more fair. So last little bit of housekeeping is the cheat sheet. So we've put together an amazing resource called the cheat sheet that is a complete outline of everything we're going to teach today, plus links to every resource and tool that I'll mention during today's webinar. And you can download it at the end of the webinar. And I point this out now because I don't want you guys spending all of your time chasing down all of the various tools and resources that we mentioned when we mention it. Instead, lock in, okay? Pay attention, make sure you don't miss any of the details while we're coaching. And then after it's over, we'll let you download the cheat sheet all in one convenient place. It'll be way better for you. All right. That brings us to lesson number 1. Levi's smirking because we put so much time and energy into making the design of these webinars just right. And we've got this daggum white square peeking out from the left side of his head right to you guys. All right. And it's just annoying the piss out of both of us. We're both kind of perfectionists. And so I just want to go ahead and call attention to the little white strip that you guys see right here. Okay. It's not supposed to be there. And Levi can stop smirking about it now. All right. Are you guys ready for lesson number 1? Levi has no comment.
I wrote it down on my notebook earlier so you could change it, but
we'll fix it for tomorrow. You guys will see. You guys will come back tomorrow and you'll be like, oh, the white strip's gone. This is the best webinar I've ever been to. All right. Victoria says, I don't see it. Not there.
It's good. Calculated by design.
All right. Lesson number 1, how to fix your marketing in under 30 minutes. So how many of you guys know your marketing's broken? Everything I said before, it describes you exactly. You're stuck. You're not growing. You hit a plateau. You're stuck wherever you are, and you can't seem to just get a consistent pipeline going. You're feast and famine, and you know without a shadow of a doubt, or beyond a shadow of a doubt, your marketing is broken. Okay. Anybody? This is not rhetorical. I want you guys to go to the chat and say so. Okay. If that's you, okay. Lesson number 1 is I'm going to show you how to fix it very, very, very quickly. Right. And to show you how to fix it quickly, I'm going to introduce you guys to the concept of the marketing pyramid. So the marketing pyramid is every great real estate business is built on a marketing pyramid, right? And it should look like this, right? The foundational or the foundation of your marketing pyramid should be direct response marketing. And to give you a quick definition of what is direct response marketing? Before I go any further, there's really only 3 types of marketing that a realtor can do. How many of you guys know that? Right. So no matter what you do to get clients, it's going to fall into one of these 3 categories. All right. So it's going to be direct response or the other 2. So direct response is any time that you do some kind of active activity, right? So you do some kind of activity. It's very active and it requires a response from a potential customer or a potential client. So a prospect or a lead. Right. And so you do something and then you get back a name and a phone number from a potential customer or a lead. Right. And so it would cover things like ads, social media, cold calling, direct mail, etc. Right. This is direct response marketing, and a great marketing pyramid should be built on a foundation of direct response marketing. I'll make the case for that in just a moment. Then it should be infrastructure. So infrastructure is any kind of physical or even digital infrastructure that quietly points back to your business, right? So it would include things like park benches. I'm really curious. When I was designing these slides, I was curious anybody live ever done the park bench advertising, or anybody currently doing park bench advertising? We've all seen it. We've all seen the realtor on there, but I've just never known anyone personally who did it.
The grocery cart advertising.
Oh, that's a great example of infrastructure marketing is the grocery cart advertising, right? Actually, we have a local realtor. I know her, great lady. I assume a great realtor, although I don't know a lot about her business. She is a little like a sign on top of the hand sanitizer going into Harris Teeter, our local grocery store. I don't know if you've seen her.
I've not seen it.
Okay. So go to Harris Teeter, pay attention. She's got a realtor and she got some like catchy slogan. That's infrastructure. Okay. So park bench, yard signs, business cards. Business cards kind of straddles the line between infrastructure and direct response, but I would make the argument that it's really just infrastructure. And then digital infrastructure, Google, Bing, Yahoo, Yelp, Facebook, like your Facebook profile. So someone searches for real estate and you've got this big sign quietly pointing back to your business. And this is all passive. So this is infrastructure marketing. Okay. And then you got the cherry on top, sphere of influence marketing, which is your friends, family, referrals, past clients, etc. Right. This is what your marketing pyramid should look like. Right. 95% of agents don't do this. Right. Instead, they do what we call upside down marketing. And again, this is 95% agents, 95% of agents. So sorry, guys, this is like 95% of you guys as well, right? So I'm going to step on some toes, but I want you to learn and grow from this, right? So I'm going to be honest with you. So upside down marketing usually looks like this. Realtors, you get your license, and then you go and attack your natural market first. So your natural market, your sphere of influence, maybe you follow some coach or guru that teaches you how to work your sphere of influence for deals. Okay. Sphere of influence only brings you about 2 to 3 closings a year. Now, somebody is going to go to the chat. And in fact, I think somebody just did. And they're going to be like, sphere of influence will make you rich. I've seen people do it before. No, you don't realize, but most of their deals aren't coming from their sphere. Okay. But sphere of influence is only going to get you an average of 2 to 3 closings a year. Right. And I'm going to prove, if you guys don't believe me, I'm just going to prove it to you with numbers. So we built an incredible calculator called the Megaphone Marketing Evaluator. This is just one of our marketing evaluators. And you can analyze your sphere of influence marketing and figure out, you can literally predict how many deals you'll get from your sphere of influence on average from year to year. All right. And all you have to do is plug in the size of your audience. If you don't know your audience, the average person in North America has an audience of about 100 people. Right. That's just the average person knows, likes, and trusts and reciprocates. These people know, like, and trust them, about 100 people. Right. And then you have to know your state population. You can easily Google that. And then you have to know how many licensed agents are also in your state. And you just plug all that in. The good news is we've done this for North Carolina, just as an example, but we have a 0.97% agent saturation. Most of you guys are going to have somewhere around 1% agent saturation. It may be a little higher, maybe a little lower. It's probably a little higher in Florida and California. It's probably a little lower in Wyoming. I don't know. But you're going to have an agent saturation of 0.97, somewhere around 1%. Okay. And here's what we know from that. Okay. Based on how many people, what percentage of the adult population moves every year, right? At the peak of the market, when sales volume was its absolute highest out of the last decade, okay, you're only 5 of your adult friends probably moved this year. Okay. And so your likely share of that is only 2.7. Remember, there's other realtors who are going to be in your natural market and you're going to be sharing your deals with them. Right. But we're no longer in the peak. So in 2025, sales volume has come down tremendously. You guys are all feeling this. Okay. And so whereas, previously, 5 people moved, it's actually 3 and some change, but we just rounded to 4. Only 4 people are moving this year, and your likely closings is under 2. So you're going to get 1 or 2 closings from your friends and family. And remember, you can't just go out and manufacture new friends and family. So let's walk through it again. So 100 people means 5 deals, 2.7 likely closings. Or in this year, in current times, you're going to have about 4 deals or 1.8 likely closings. Okay. And some of you guys you're going to go to the chat and you're going to say, no, Chris, this doesn't describe me. This calculator doesn't work for me. I have way more than 100 friends and family. Okay. Well, let's just say that you had 2.5 times the national average. You had 250. And there are people out like this. One of my closest friends, Adam, he's like this. He goes to the grocery store. Levi, Adam. Adam goes to the grocery store and he makes 3 friends, right? While he's picking up tortillas for his wife, right? It's just what he does. And so let's say that he's got 250, and that would be, based on, just statistical average, that's probably what his natural market is. Okay. That means he could do a lot more deals, right? Well, not exactly. Right. So 13 deals would have been available back in 2021. Now it's less than 9. Okay. And likely closings is only 2.6. So he's only getting one additional deal from being that much extra friendly. All right. And remember, it's all about agent saturation. You're sharing these deals with other people. Now, some of you guys are going to say, Chris, this year alone, I've done 6 or 7 transactions. Cue the 6 or 7 jokes. All right. But some of you guys are going to say, I've done 6 or 7 transactions this year alone for my natural market. Well, guess what? Next year, you're probably going to do 0, because the law of averages says on average, you're going to do 2 to 3 deals per year, and you're not going to get and so if you've ever realized, hey, I quickly hit a plateau with my sphere of influence, this is why. It's just down to the numbers, right? You can't beat math. All right. So upside down marketing, you start by attacking your natural market or your sphere of influence. And then when you plateau there, then you dabble in infrastructure marketing. You start doing things like putting your business card at the local smoothie shop, or you do the park bench, or you do the shopping cart, or you do some kind of, you do Google, Bing, and Yahoo. You do, set up a profile on Facebook, a profile in Google. And this will get you an extra couple of deals, typically 3 to 6, if done well. Right. And most agents never touch direct response marketing at all. This is built completely upside down. They never touch direct response marketing at all. And those of you guys who have dabbled in direct response marketing, unfortunately, you've dabbled in the wrong kind. And I'm going to tackle that next. Okay. So this is what upside down marketing looks like. And I'm just curious how many people are self-aware enough to know. I'm just, raise your hand if when you looked at this diagram, you're like, oh my God, that's what's wrong with my real estate. This is what I've been doing. Right. But 98% of the time, Levi, you do a lot of one-on-one coaching. I do a lot of one-on-one coaching. Do you agree? 98% of the time, when someone comes to me, they want to grow and they can't seem to break free from their plateau, it's because this is what their marketing looks like. It's upside down, right? And they either are doing the wrong type of direct response marketing, or they're not. Less than 5% of agents even do direct response marketing. And those 5% are all doing the wrong types. All right. So
not only that, but I'd say that they are, in particular, because of the volume going down in recent years, they're at a loss as to how they can.
Yeah. So it's not even just that you're at a plateau. It's that your business is actually declining. Has anybody noticed that your business is declining? So upside down marketing is going to get you around 7 closings per year, right? So it's going to be successful at getting you to average. And, wouldn't you know it, the average full-time agent does around 7 closings per year. You guys know that? Okay. The average full-time realtor does about 7 closings per year, and they're stuck there, and they're on the hamster wheel, and they're stuck there forever. Right. So if you want to break free from that, okay, step number 1 is stop doing this. Stop doing upside down marketing. All right. Let's just scrap this and let's start over. And let's build a marketing pyramid. We're going to do this together, where you start with direct response marketing, which, remember, can get you unlimited closings. Like, there's literally no limit to how many closings you can get from direct response marketing. But, I'm going to start you at just 30 plus closings from a playbook I'm going to teach you today. And then tomorrow, I'm going to teach you how to do legit infrastructure marketing that will actually bring you consistent deals. And then on Wednesday, this is just the cherry on top, but I'm going to show you the easiest way to get deals from your friends and family consistently without feeling like a jerk, and without people dodging your call because they're sick of hearing from you. And, sick
family
of you.
Pariah.
Oh yeah. The person that doesn't get invited to Thanksgiving, or everyone groans when you walk into Thanksgiving because you're always trying to work them for business. All right. So, and the marketing pyramid, if you're willing to put this together, okay, we've got a marketing pyramid that will bring you 40 deals a year and up. And so if you guys are wanting to hit 40 deals a year or more, or maybe you've got a team, right, and you're already at 40 deals because you've got, 5 team members that are all doing, that are all doing 7 or 8 transactions a year, and you want to break through the next plateau and you want to do 200 transactions a year, 300, okay, this marketing pyramid is still going to be the answer for you. All right. And one more thing is, when you've got a good marketing pyramid going, it's like a flywheel. So your direct response marketing and all those leads flowing in and all those deals flowing in makes your sphere of influence better. because you have more past clients. And it also makes your infrastructure better because you got more 5-star reviews on Google, Bing, and Yahoo, and you look like a rock star. And then that makes your direct response better, and on and on and on. And it just powers the whole thing. But none of this works unless you have solid direct response marketing. And so that's what I'm going to teach you guys how to do today. Are you guys ready? Anybody want to learn how to do really good direct response marketing? All right, that's what we're going to teach you today. And then we'll tackle the other types of marketing tomorrow and the next day. And remember, all of these webinars completely stand up alone. You do not need to attend the other ones, but you guys would be absolutely foolish if you don't come tomorrow and Wednesday. So go ahead and mark your schedules, 12 Eastern, noon Eastern, Tuesday and Wednesday as well. You guys are going to be blown away by the training that we do. All right. So direct response marketing, let's talk about it. All right. So some of you guys have dabbled in direct response marketing before, right? Type 1, there's really only 2 types that most of you guys have ever done. Type 1 is what we call list chasing. And this is, if you're over 40, this is probably the type that you've done. All right. So list chasing is FSBOs, expireds, divorce, probate, absentee owners, any of the leads list that you can purchase from companies like Vulcan 7 or My Leads Plus or et cetera. Okay. And go cold call them. Right. So this is what extroverts do. So if you're an extrovert, you probably go and cold call. I would cold call. And then my brother Levi, more of an introvert, is going to do direct mail. Right. And so type 1 marketing is list chasing. And so if you're over 40, this is the one type of direct response marketing you've probably done, cold calling or direct mail, the list. But the real question is, does it ROI? And so I want to answer this once and for all right now. And so Levi and I are going to walk you through. I'm going to share my screen if you be patient with me for just a moment. We're going to walk you through how to use our marketing evaluator calculator, which we're going to let you download inside the cheat sheet. And this will tell you real quick whether an idea ROIs or not. Jennifer, don't worry. As long as you're on our email list, you're going to get an email and a text message to let you know about those webinars. So information forthcoming. All right, Levi. So let's talk about list chasing. So we did a private screening of this recently, and we had an agent volunteer to be a guinea pig. I wish we had more time because I would pull one of you guys out of the crowd, Diana or William or Jennifer. I'd pull one of you guys out of the crowd and I'd find out if you've done any of this list chasing. And by the way, go to the chat right now while we're doing this. Go to the chat and let us know if you've done any list chasing before. Have you ever done direct mail or cold calling to any of the famous, the usual suspects, the lists? Okay. So Levi, what list chasing marketing idea did we pull the numbers from on this agent?
We had an agent named Lorian in Virginia. She did geo marketing, which for those of you who don't know, that's basically where you take a geographical area like a neighborhood and you blast it with some sort of direct mail, generally speaking. There's other ways to do geo marketing. You could door knock, et cetera. But in her case, she did postcards. She actually had a really good deal. She had a place that printed and did all the postcard design and everything for her. She spent about $1.10 per unit. Her farm was 100 postcards. It's pretty small. And probably some of you in here probably have a much bigger farm if you do any sort of geo farming, but she was starting pretty small. The average home price in her area was $400,000.
Okay. So let me plug that in right here.
So if you, and she had an average commission side of 3%. And the cash cost for her, because it was $1.10 per unit. And
let me pause you real quick, Levi, just so you guys are following. All you have to do when you're using this is just fill in the fields with the dotted border. So I just did the market factors. So she had an average, median sale price of 400,000, average commission side of 3%. And now we're going to talk cash costs. So these are stats for your marketing idea. So go ahead, Levi, with the cash cost.
Yeah. So the cash cost was just $110, fairly small because it was $1.10 per unit at 100 postcards. Mm-hmm. Where she got in trouble was every month when she would do this, it took her 3 hours between curating the list, designing the postcard, putting stamps on it, and then mailing it out. It took her 3 hours every time. And so her time cost was relatively high. And from that, she averaged about 2 leads. Now, she had done this for 3 months prior. So some months she had generated a little bit more, some months she had generated less, but she averaged 2 leads over the course of those 3 months that she had done it.
Okay, beautiful. And again, I wish that we had time for me to pull one of you guys live out of the crowd. If we were doing this as a live seminar rather than a webinar, I'd just pull somebody out and we'd break down one of your averages. We do this all the time. And when it comes to list chasing, none of the ideas ever ROI. And so what you found is if her goal was, target yearly income of 100,000, it's actually probably north of that. But if it was only, then we've calculated, her hourly worth, and we've got to factor that into how much the idea actually costed her. And her budget per lead was actually pretty healthy because she has a really strong average commission side at a pretty, close to, average for North America home price of 400,000. And so she had a really good budget per lead. I mean, imagine being able to spend, Levi and we can't spend $50 a lead. It would never ROI. Okay. But she's in a great market where she can spend $50 a lead, but this idea ain't cutting it, right? Her actual cost per lead was 130. And remember, not every lead's going to close. And so when you actually factor in the statistical modeling, this is a terrible idea. And so Lauren no longer does this idea, right? After we took her through this coaching. So that is a great example. And by the way, spoiler alert. Okay. I'm going to take you guys back to this slides now, but spoiler alert, if you were to do cold calling, the numbers are even worse because remember, she only spent 3 hours, which we considered a lot of time invested in this idea.
For a month.
For a whole month. My closest buddy who actually does cold calling all the time, and he's really struggling right now. He does about 3 hours a day, so 15 hours. So just like extrapolate, all the way out, and there's no way that cold calling is going to work. So direct mail, if you're going to do list chasing, none of it ROIs, but if you're going to do it, cold calling is definitely less effective than direct mail. So that's type number 1. How many of you guys have ever done the list chasing? Okay. Type 2, and much better, it's social chasing. So some of you guys, and this is for the under 40 crowd. So if you're under 40, you've probably flirted with some of this stuff. So paid ads, social posting, etc. Okay. But again, the only question that really matters here is, does it ROI? And so I'm going to go back and we're going to screen share and we're going to break down some social chasing. All right. So Levi, hit me with another example that we pulled when we did the private screening of this training.
So there's tons of examples here. Probably the most common that I hear of recently is just paid Facebook ads. Okay. And you can bet on generating leads at about $22 a lead. Let's say you had a big budget. Let's say it's $500,
$1,000 a month.
I was going to say $1,000.
Okay, let's do it. Yeah,
at $22 a lead, that means the number of leads you generated is 50. You can assume the time cost is pretty minimal if you're running paid Facebook ads. The beauty of spending the money is that you don't actually have to labor over it. But let's say you spend an hour getting your target audience, your demographics, your putting all the budget together. Maybe it's even half an hour. You could put 0.5 in there for the time cost. If
you're doing this for the first time, it's probably going to take more like 7 or 8 hours. But if you're experienced or you hired someone to do it for you, then you're right. Then you can just manage it all for about a half an hour per month.
So according to the calculator, that looks good. But
this is why people get fooled into doing Facebook ads all the time. So some kid, some local guru calls you and says, "Hey, let me set up all your Facebook ads. It's going to be great." But go ahead and tell them what's wrong with this idea.
The issue is the closing rate. We basically took the number from NAR, which the average agent closes about 4 to 5%, or about one deal for every 24 leads. And that's the default number that's in the calculator. But if the closing rate for a particular marketing option isn't 4 to 5%, which, spoiler alert, it's not for paid Facebook ads, then you can't put 24 in there. For Facebook ads, the closing rate's around 1%. It's actually a little bit less than 1%. So I'm being generous at 1%.
It's significantly less than 1%, but we're gonna say it's 1%.
So that means it takes 100 leads to get a closing. Immediately, it doesn't look so good anymore.
That's right. So here's the deal, guys. So we actually have a guy on staff that used to work for one of the big data firms, and they had internal numbers. They used to literally sell the data that Facebook uses for lead algorithm, whatever. So they had data that suggested that 1 out of 300, and I think it's like 304, we'll just call it 300, 1 out of 300 Facebook leads actually go on to close with a realtor whose ad they responded to. And so the conversion numbers are horrible. And the reason why is because there's really no buyer intent here. You guys have all experienced this. Somebody responds to your ad because the ad is so good at milking somebody for their info. But what you don't realize is that person wasn't actually shopping for a home. They were just scanning Facebook, right? And so while you can generate a high volume of leads, and you can do it at a relatively low cost, that's why people are so attracted to Facebook. The reason why social chasing doesn't work is because they don't convert, right? And so now you know that this is a terrible idea. And okay, regardless of whether you think, oh, the cost per lead, it really doesn't look that bad. It's only $22.70. It doesn't matter. If your cost per lead is over your budget per lead, what you're going to find is that you always struggle to gain traction with this idea. And that's what if you guys take away nothing else from this webinar, I want you to know if you use this marketing evaluator and it says time to kick it, these are very, very conservative estimates. So if this calculator says to kick the idea, then you've got to get rid of it. Or if you pour additional time and money and energy into it, then you're always going to struggle to get traction from your business. All right. All right. So now that we know that type 1 and type 2, list chasing, social chaining, these do not ROI. And that's really all that matters at the end of the day. So most of you guys don't do direct response marketing. The ones who do direct response marketing, hate to say it, but you're probably doing the wrong type. This stuff doesn't ROI, right? So what do we do about it? Well, scrap it. Okay. Get rid of this. Stop doing list chasing. Stop doing social chasing. But of course, that leaves you wondering, scratching your head, Chris, Levi, what do we do? And that brings us to lesson number 2 is I'm going to show you how to get 80 legitimate leads with high buyer intent from a simple plug and play Facebook marketplace ad. Are you guys ready for this? I'm super excited about this lesson. All right. So I'm going to break down the playbook and just kind of like teach you through it, but you need the actual playbook itself. So this is an amazing document that me and Levi and the rest of the team have put together. It's like a checklist style playbook where it's step-by-step activities that you go through and do the whole series. And when you get to the end, if you've checked off all the boxes, then you have implemented one of the most powerful real estate playbooks. Levi, is this an exaggeration? I think that every realtor everywhere in North America should always be running this playbook, no matter what else they've got going on. It's some of the lowest hanging fruit out there, and hardly anybody's taking advantage of it. And the people that are posting on Marketplace, they're just doing it wrong. And so they're not really getting any business from it. And so I'm going to break down the playbook, but remember, you want to download this playbook at the end. This is an incredible resource. It only comes with our Pro Tool service. Today, we're going to give it to you for free, but this is something that's worth over $1,200. It usually only comes with our paid Pro Tool service. Okay. So to break it down for you, step 1 is you got to borrow a listing. You do not need a listing to start with the Marketplace playbook today, right? Step 2 is then you need to create what's known as a magnet ad, an ad that actually attracts people back to your lead capture device. And then 3, you need the messenger hack. We're going to show you how to implement that. 4, you need very effective lead capture, which we're going to show you how to do that today. And 5, as a bonus, we're going to teach you how to turn it on autopilot mode, which most of you guys have no idea that there's even an autopilot mode for Marketplace. Most of the time you think Marketplace, you're like, I got to refresh the ads, I got to reply to the messages. There's a whole lot of labor involved. Autopilot mode is going to blow your mind. It takes the average time investment from like an hour per month to like no time investment at all, right? So anyway, we're going to teach you through all that, but this is the basic playbook. So let's break it down, right? And real quick, I want to call your attention. You need an effective lead capture, or you're just flat out not going to get traction with this playbook. All right. So just go ahead and slump your shoulders, get over it. You've got to have more effective lead capture. Oh, I have bold leads. Okay, dude. Nobody on this call already has effective lead capture unless you have Pro Tools or one of maybe like 2 other companies in the world that has really effective lead capture, and none of them specialize for real estate. Okay. So we're going to let you download the full playbook at the end of the webinar, but for now, I'm just going to teach you through it step by step. So step 1, to borrow a listing, you're going to go download our loaner script from the Callster app. So you can go to callster.io. Don't worry, a link to this will be in the cheat sheet. And you're going to download the loaner script. You're going to identify a listing. Don't worry, we teach you exactly how to identify the right listing. Really, all you're going to do is identify a listing that lots of people are going to be interested in, right? So you're just looking for A+ desirability, like whether it's a neighborhood or a particular feature, like it's got a pool or a beautiful kitchen. It doesn't really matter. You just want to find a listing that other people, maybe it's a great investment opportunity. So it's one that meets the 1% rule where you're going to, pay, or you're going to be able to rent it out monthly. Is going to be 1% of the total purchase price. And so it's going to cash flow as a rental, right? Whatever the A+ desirability is, doesn't really matter. You just want to identify a listing that has A+ desirability. And then you're going to send one, or you're going to call, one phone call to the listing agent, one follow-up text message. It's super easy. We'll teach you through the whole playbook. And for those of you guys who are a little squeamish about going out and doing this, first of all, I can't begin to fathom why. Okay. This is like, everybody is familiar with the idea of holding an open house at somebody else's listing. But when it comes to advertising it online for them, suddenly they're like, but the truth is, borrowing a listing to advertise online is way more valuable for the listing agent than your dinky little open house. So anyway, get comfortable with borrowing listings. But until you're comfortable, okay, you can do the broker team leader route. So just go to your broker or team leader and say, hey, what listings do we have available that I can advertise, and get them to send you the list. You can go to your friends. So a lot of you guys have a friend that's at a different company. You could get access to their listings as well. And I recommend, Levi, is this like, can you get behind this? I always recommend asking for blanket advice. So rather, you ask for the specific listing, but then before you get off the phone, go ahead and get permission to advertise all their listings, right? Just 100%. To make it easier in the future, right? And then if you're HUD certified, you're free to advertise pretty much everything on HUD.gov, right? And there's, depending on your market, it's not always the best listings, but we've generated a lot of leads from doing exactly that. And then obviously you can go after competitors. And that's what me and Levi focus almost exclusively on, people who aren't our broker, aren't our friends, but just we do a really good job of promoting their properties. And so they're always glad to give us permission. All right. So step one, borrow a listing. Now, let's just assume that you've already done this and you've got a new listing that you can advertise now. Okay. Step two is writing a magnet ad. And these are screen grabs from an actual magnet ad that I wrote literally on Thursday of last week, Thursday or Friday. I can't remember. All right. So here's a magnet ad, or here are the principles behind why our magnet ad format works. Okay. So first of all, we don't list the price. I know I'm blowing your mind, guys, but don't list the price. It's the number one thing that everybody wants to know. And so that's why you don't list it, is because it's what will get them to click through and find out more information by interacting with your lead device. Okay. So don't list the price. Then start with one click-worthy photo. So this photo, Levi really schooled me on this about a year ago, Levi on our coaching team. I was doing it all wrong. I literally developed the playbook. Me and Levi developed the playbook years ago, and I somehow was doing it wrong. And you've got to have
doing it wrong. You were still generating leads.
Yeah, I was still generating leads, but I was generating like half the volume I should have been. Yeah. So anyway, I'll show you guys on the next slide how to pick a click-worthy photo. But you're going to start with the most click-worthy photo, 2 to 3 other photos, and then a simple description under 100 words and a call to action. Okay. And let me just break down the example on the next slide. So these are actual screen grabs from the ad that I posted on Thursday. So this is very recent. This is the ad that, by the way, generated 5 legitimate client leads before I went to bed that night. All right. And it's still producing. So you start with the click-worthy photo. Levi taught me this about a year ago, that the most clickable photo is not the photo that makes the home look the sexiest. It's not the photo that makes you just like, wow, what a great home. It's actually the photo that leaves everything to the imagination. So it's like Levi's rule of thumb is like, if you're standing on the deck or the patio, the back patio, and you're looking out towards the backyard and the house isn't in view at all, that is the photo that gets clicked on more. It's because people actually want to see what the house looks like. And when Levi and the coaching team taught me that, I was like, oh, it makes perfect sense now. But I was always doing like that one front-on photo with the perfect AI sunset in the background and like the AI porch lights that come on, the soft glow of the AI. You guys know what I'm talking about. Okay, that's what everybody. You guys do it too. That's the one that I would put up first, and it doesn't work. Right? Everyone just scrolls right past it. The click-worthy photo is the one that doesn't show the house at all. And so, Levi, add this to your arsenal. I posted from inside the garage at the garage door where you can't see what the house actually looks like. And this one is just pulled like crazy. So add that to the arsenal. It's kind of like the same concept, but people can't see the house and everybody's clicking on it. I had like 200 click-throughs on the ad within the first 5 hours. It was crazy. All right. So once you do then you're going to post 2 to 3 other photos. I posted the kitchen and, the backyard. I do not list the price. And so you're just going to put it as $1. And then you're going to do a simple description. If you have Pro Tools, a description will be written for you using our AI ad writer tool. It'll just write in a brilliant, high converting lead generation ad. Otherwise, you're just going to want to use our template that you can get inside the cheat sheet, and you're just going to fill it out Mad Lib style, and you'll have a great property description. It's super easy, although a little more time consuming. Then you're going to have a call to action to see complete details, price, address, photos, see property website, and then you're going to have lead capture. So you need a single property website that is armed with very, very effective lead capture, which we're going to talk about in just a minute. All right. This ad pulls. The ads that you've been running in the past, they don't pull. All right. Step 3 is now you need the messenger hack. So you will get some leads flowing in just by doing what we showed on the previous slide. Right. But you can like double, triple, sometimes even quadruple the number of leads you're getting just by implementing this simple messenger hack. So remember, on Facebook Marketplace, you're going to get a load of messages. And all we're going to do is we're going to auto reply with a call to action link. So we're going to send them directly to the single property website or the SPW, and we're going to redirect all replies to the single property website. All right. So we're going to be consistent Monday through Friday. I log in every single morning. Levi, how long does it take you typically? Like, I'll have a pile of like 20 messages. It doesn't take me long. How long does it take you to like go through 20 messages and copy and paste your reply?
Well, I got that Control C, Control V thing going. So it's like boom, 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 boom. 5 minutes to reply to 20, 30 messages. What I don't do is I turn off my messengers, so I'm not like captured by my phone all day as I'm getting messenger replies.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so it doesn't take long. We're spending less than 5 minutes every morning. Okay, and here's a real example of one that we get. So Lucille replied to this this ad almost immediately. Is this the real price for the house? No. Lucille, you weren't confused, but it doesn't matter what she says. Okay, this probably isn't a great lead. Doesn't matter what she says. I'm always going to copy and paste the exact same reply. So yes, it's for sale, not for rent. This message is in the resource that we're going to give you. We have a lot of listings that get updated frequently, but you can get up-to-date details, price, photos for this listing at the following link, and then I give them the single property website. Boom. All right, it's that easy, and you just have to do it over and over and over and over and over and over. You're not going to have 100% conversion, but the ones that are really interested, the ones that are actually interested in buying a home, they're going to want to click through and they're going to want to see it. And so they're going to become a lead. And so that's where you need step 4, proven lead capture. So obviously we use the best proven lead capture on the market. We use Pro Tools, which we built. Okay. There is other lead capture that can work, but I'll tell you, whatever CRM platform that you're using because your company provides it, or maybe you went out and bought it on your own, it's not going to cut it. That is a CRM platform. It's good for organizing your customer follow-up. It's good for lead conversion. It's terrible for marketing. And we're going to talk more about that in just a minute, but you need dedicated marketing tools. So specifically, you need single property websites. You need unlimited number of single property websites that you can create instantly. If you have to go in and build these and it takes 5 or 10 or 15 minutes, some of you guys are spending 2 hours to create a single property website. That doesn't cut it. Okay. And most importantly, you need a minimum 10% capture rate. This is absolutely crucial. You need better than that. And if you have Pro Tools, then you have better than that. But if you guys don't have a minimum 10% capture rate, then again, you're just dead in the water. You're never going to get traction using the playbook that I'm teaching right now. So here's some screen grabs from my actual, this is the property that I ran on Thursday. Okay. So I instantly created the single property website using Pro Tools. Right. And nobody gets in without putting in name, phone number, and email address. And we're capturing roughly 37% of all the traffic that hits this website. Okay. That is more than enough to get traction so that we've really got, a high volume of leads coming through on this single property that we're advertising. Okay. Then when they log in, it's a beautiful single property website. I did nothing to create this. In fact, I'm going to show you on the next slide exactly what I did to create it. Cool feature, by the way. You can also advertise buyer agent fee paid by the seller, if any, because it's not on the MLS. All right. So this is how I created this exact website. So before I did it, I actually screen recorded creating. So I just typed in address, 5835 James Allen. This is the exact listing that I posted on Thursday. Hit auto import. And, sometimes it's done in like 5 seconds. Sometimes it takes, 30 seconds to a minute. But while we're sitting here chatting with you guys, Pro Tools is building this single property website. And this is using our listing grabber tool. So it's going out and grabbing the listing and all the details. So it's grabbing, the price, the address, the photos, the bedrooms, the bathroom, all the details, the listing description, everything that you need to know about the website in order to build about the listing to build a great single property website. Pro Tools is doing all of it. And so it's just going to take another moment or so. And then it's going to have all the photos and everything that we needed. And then I just click save. And here we go. Boom. Okay. So I click save, and then I can visit the single property webpage directly from my Pro Tools dashboard. And I don't know why the video is struggling so much. That was just my screen recording. Creating an issue. But there you go. I created the whole single property website, and I think it took me under a minute, but my involvement was like 2 seconds. I just had to type in the address. So back to professional marketing tools. You need dedicated marketing tools. And that means software that is dedicated only to doing good marketing. So most of you guys have a CRM platform and you think that it's marketing tools, but it's not, right? So you either have Bold Trail, used to be KV Core, you have K2B Command, Brivity, Sync, Realty Juggler, Lofty, Follow Up Boss, Real Geeks, High Level, MoxieWorks, or one of dozens of other CRMs that many of your companies actually provide for you within your brokerage fees. All right. If you have one of these CRM platforms, you do not have dedicated marketing tools. You would be better off with a free Google form lead capture page than you would be with one of these. And the reason why is the best. I'm not going to go through and like lambast all of these companies, but the best of the bunch of these that offer lead capture stuff in their CRM is Bold Trail. And Bold Trail, we've actually tested it side by side. We have lots of data to go on here. Bold Trail captures at 1.5% of all web traffic that goes to a Bold Trail single property website goes to 1.5% actually convert into a lead. So name, phone number, email address. Okay. Meanwhile, Pro Tools captures 37%. Okay. And so the easiest way to have a professional marketing suite or a professional marketing software is not to choose between having Pro Tools or your CRM platform. It's just to add Pro Tools to your CRM platform. Okay. So Pro Tools will automatically connect to all the companies you see on the right, plus every other company platform out there on the internet, period. Okay. You can add Pro Tools to any CRM platform and all of your Pro Tools leads will flow into that CRM automatically. It's really easy. Okay. But the difference is really clear. The best of the heap here is only capturing at 1.5%. And Pro Tools captures at 37%. That's the difference between having software that is laser focused on one thing and specialized in just being professional marketing tools. Okay. And that's all we do. All right. So now let's talk step 5, autopilot mode. So this is really easy. I'm going to run through it really quickly. You're going to take all your green light ads. So the ads that are actually producing leads, the rule of thumb is 7 leads in 7 days, and you're just going to boost it for 30 days. And here's what's cool. For $1 to $5 per day, okay, it's up to you. You can spend $30 a month up to $150 a month. That's what we found works really well. It's going to be fully automated. So no more messenger, no more refreshing the ads. It's all done for you. And you're going to capture these leads at about $3.75 a lead. And you did all your successful ad testing for $0. So you don't have to test to find out if this ad is going to work. We already know it works. And now you're just going to pour some gasoline on the fire. So you're just going to put some money behind it. And so this is optional. You do not have to spend money to make Marketplace work for you. We have people generating 200 plus leads a month for Marketplace without spending a dime. But if you want to go autopilot, this is the easiest way to do it. All right. So you're literally just going into Pro Tools and finding your ads that are producing 7 leads over 7 days. And we call those green light ads. And then you just choose your favorite one and you put a little money behind it. And so it's really easy. You go into your Marketplace listings, you click on boost the listing, and then you choose select custom budget and duration, where you're going to choose 30 days, $5 a day. And then we just select the standard default is advanced or Advantage Plus placements. We just let Facebook do its thing. and it finds all the best customers. And what it's going to do is it's going to turn your link into a hyperlink. So now nobody's replying by Messenger and you don't have to refresh the ad anymore. All the links are going directly to your website. And you are, Levi, have we ever boosted a green light ad that did not produce leads at under $5 a lead? Just doesn't happen. And the reason why is we did all the successful ad testing before we ever put any money behind it. And that's why it works so well. And that brings us to our third and final lesson. Most important lesson we're going to teach today, guys, is lesson number 3, how to create an evergreen system that gets clients on autopilot. You guys ready for this? I'm not sure that you are. All right. So step 1 is you've got to have a lead playbook. All right. And specifically today, what we're talking about is you've got to have a direct response marketing playbook. So how many of you guys already have a direct response marketing playbook that you know ROIs and is bringing you at least 80 leads per month? Seriously, show of hands, or go to the chat and say, no, I don't, but I desperately like one. Okay. So you need a lead playbook. We need a step-by-step series of activities, a step-by-step formula that every time you implement it, you're going to get back leads, right? And you know that those leads are going to ROI because it's already been battle tested. So if you don't, the good news is we're going to give you one today. So I just walked you through it to show you how simple it, and can we all agree, like that's easy enough for anyone to do? I don't know if you guys remember the old Geico commercials. So easy a caveman can do it. But even you guys that are like, hey, I'm not very tech savvy, how many of you guys feel confident that you could go out and do that today, right? So if you want the plug and play Facebook Marketplace ad playbook, I'm going to let you download it for free. But I want to invite you guys to come back tomorrow and the next day to get our guerrilla yard sign playbook and also our lead surfacing email and text message playbook. Okay. So here's what these playbooks together, first of all, they form the complete marketing pyramid that we're all after. But here's what they'll bring you. Marketplace ads will bring you about 80 leads a month. Guerrilla yard signs will bring you about 50 leads a month. And we have actual case studies and proof of that claim. And then lead surfacing, email and text will bring you about 5 leads. Okay. But here's the deal. All right. These convert. The reason it has an asterisk next to it is that these lead surfacing text and emails, because they come from your sphere of influence, they convert at 80 or 90% of the leads actually will convert. And so those 5 leads are worth a lot more than either 10 or 20 leads from a different source. All right. So 135 leads from this one marketing pyramid. You need, step 1 is you got to have a lead playbook that is consistently bringing you new names and phone numbers of people that are going to be buying or selling soon. And we're going to let you download the full playbook at the end of the webinar. All right. So stick around for 1 minute longer. Once you have the lead playbook implemented fully, you need to be plugging it into a consistent follow-up system. And your follow-up system should be human to human. So I'm talking real phone calls, real text messages. This is not when you outsource to AI, outsource to an ISA in the Philippines. You need to be doing real phone calls and real text messages. But, okay, just turn my grandpa light on. All right. Step 1 is lead playbook. Step 2 is you need a consistent follow-up system. All right. And I've got a really cool offer for you guys today is we're going to show you behind the curtain. We're going to pull back the curtain on our follow-up system if you guys want to learn how to convert the raw leads that we generate from marketplace ads. All right. So step 1 is lead playbook. Step 2 is you got to plug it into a follow-up system. So you need a CRM, and we'll let you get a free CRM. If you don't have a CRM, we'll show you how you can get 5 months of Realty Juggler for free. I mean, 5 months. Okay. And then step 3 is if you implement step 1 and step 2 consistently in the right order over and over and over again, step 3 is you're always going to be in escrow. How many of you guys, like, that's the dream? You just always want to have another deal in escrow under contract, so you always have another commission on the way. If you were to implement all 3 of the playbooks that we're going to teach this way and have that complete marketing pyramid, not only will you always be in escrow, but you will always be in multiple escrow. Never had an agent implement that pyramid check who's not doing multiple closings every single month in and month out.
I hope you enjoyed the training session. Would you do me a favor? Press like on this video, share it with a friend who needs it, and then comment shared below. When you do, we'll send you our most popular training on how we doubled our business 3 different times since 2019. See you next time.